Hello, wicked new video. Today we're going to take a look real fast at the Master League and top 5 teams that you can run to hopefully climb for the final week of the season here. Luckily, afterwards we have a new season because like nobody really liked this one, I think. But yeah, we can take a look at the Master League and we're going to make this a really quick here. We're going to see the meta here quick. You have a meta basically based around a lot of dragon types or dragon type attacks, as you can see here with Lugia, Giratina, Dragonite, and yeah, those Pokemon are pretty common. You're still going to have the same meta that you have basically for longer time already. Nowadays you have Quick Attack on Zacian, which is most of the time preferred. You see Zacian a lot of times, you're going to see Mewtwo a lot of times, you're going to see the Dialga still a lot of times. Those are basically the Pokemon that you really have to prepare for. There are some other picks like Togekiss, which is pretty decent as a charm user, or also MEweedle you see a lot of times because it's easy to get. And we're going to have some teams here now for this Master League, for some teams without any legendary Pokemon, some teams with like easier to get legendary Pokemon, some really fully XL, super heavy, expensive legendary teams there. And now we're going to take a look at the teams. The first team here going to be most likely the best no legendary team that you can run. We're going to have the Dragonite in the lead. We're going to also have the Excadrill in the back as a safe swap, and then we're also going to have our Metagross in the back as a closer. Excadrill as a safe swap is pretty nice, as this Pokemon is also one of the hardest answers for something like the Dialga. Also, you're going to be able to deal a lot of damage against nearly everything in this meta. Actually, the only Pokemon that you don't really want to face is going to be Kyogre, which you can bait out because you also don't want to face it with the Metagross in the back, and Kyogre gets completely hard-walled by the Dragonite in the lead. So this is basically how this team works. You kind of want to sweep endgame with your Metagross, which is really good in the current meta as well. And you have basically 2 steel types to help your dragon type in the lead. Very common one. Tomorrow we're going to see a video about another team as well, which will be very nice without any legendary Pokemon on it. The next team is going to be basically an upgrade to the first team, which is going to have the Dialga in the lead here now. We're going to have the Landorus as a safe swap, or like you can use both Pokemon to be fair as a safe swap. I think Landorus is a little bit better here in this team actually as a safe swap compared to Excadrill, but both of them are pretty fine. You kind of just want to get out again the Kyogre because it's basically the hardest answer to both of your Pokemon in the back, and they cannot try to sweep the end game with one of your 2 Pokemon. Both of them are very good closer. Landorus basically only has Kyogre as an answer, and that's basically it, and so you have a very free safe swap here. Team itself, very strong. I don't know if you have a Landorus build already, it's a little bit more of a rarer Pokemon, but this is going to be it for this team. Let's go into the next one. If you would ask me which team I would want to use if I could build anything, I would most likely choose this team here. This team is very strong. We're going to have here the lead of Giratina. Either version is fine. The altered version is just a little bit better in my opinion. And you're going to have two fairy types here in the back. We're going to have the quick attack version, or also Snarl is also fine, from Zacian there, and we're going to have in the back the Togekiss or whatever fairy type you kind of want to use there. You can also use Xerneas if you want to be a little bit more spicy. You can use something like the Florges if you have already that thing fully maxed out there, but Togekiss is the easiest to get here. Yeah, like honestly, this is the most broken team in my opinion. I think this is the best team that I like. In my opinion, it's the best team currently in the Master League. I would run it if I have the Giratina. I sadly don't have the Giratina, so I can't run it. The second to last team here going to be a combination that we've seen a lot of times. We're going to see here the lead of Kyogre. You can also swap it out a little bit and use the what's called the Dialga in the lead here instead, but the lead of Kyogre here is very strong. This Pokemon is super strong in the 2-shield scenario, only really scared about dragon types in this meta, and you have 2 answers for dragon types with the Dragon Tail version of the Lugia as your safe swap, and the closer of Dialga in the back here. Instead of Lugia, you could also run something like Mewtwo, I think, but Lugia is just the best Pokemon to be fair in terms of the I don't know, like the bulkiness for the meta, which is really nice. Like Lugia has basically no bad matchup at all because it's just so bulky that it doesn't matter which Pokemon you come up against. Even against a MEweedle, you're still going to do a lot of damage, as you're still going to be able to reach an Aeroblast, for example, which just hurts everything. So this team is still super strong. You can also use the Ho-Oh in the lead here as well to answer those fairy types if you have a little bit too much of a problem of this Pokemon, like of fairy types in general. But Kyogre in the lead is really strong, especially in the 2-shield scenario. The last team going to be around MEweedle, thanks to Zacian being around right now. It's not the best Pokemon anymore. because of course you have more people that run close combat and they kind of destroy you with that, but still it has some play, especially against something like Dialga, which you see a lot of times in the lead. It's very neutral against a lot of Pokemon. So yeah, we're going to have a team here with Mewtwo and Dragonite. I think you could also just flip it, and I think it's a little bit better if you would flip it and put the Dragonite in the lead again and use the MEweedle as a closer. It might be a little bit better for you, but really depends on what you want to play. Mewtwo is just a very safe stop. There's not a lot that really wants to come into this Pokemon, and it's just a very good option in general for every team. You can literally put Mewtwo on everything and it's always going to be good. But yeah, that's going to be it for the first video for the Master League. Are you still playing Go Battle League right now? Let me know in the comment section, as yeah, we have 1 week left. Luckily then this season is over and hopefully we get a better season then. See you.